Darks my heart online.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. We are not in the workshop. Welcome in a sunny UK. We actually have 355 days of sun, and when it's raining that's only in movies. So we took the S3 out after all the work what was done to it, and I must say I'm a bit of a dodgy person because the videos what you've seen at the moment are probably like 1 year old. So I actually bought the car in 2024 in February, and the videos were edited quite some time after. So meanwhile, I did drive the car. It was mostly a shopping cart for my girlfriend. She was using it to go in a Lidl and Tesco's and stuff. We've done over 1,000 miles and we have few issues, of course. So the first problem, what we had in August time, we went to Bristol with it to have a bit of a drive and fun, and unfortunately the oil cooler hose went. I'll put some footage in here. Yeah! The oil cooler hose was actually replaced, and I'll show you. Meow. 1.8, beautiful clean engine. So the problem was, it's so tight setup what you've seen in the videos that when the hoses were actually cold, they didn't move that much. But soon as everything get warm, they expand a bit and they get soft. So they were able to actually move a bit. And the same day I top up the air conditioning, and when the fan for the air conditioning kicked in, it was slightly grinding one of the hose and it grind through. Luckily, no engine damage was done. I have the oil pressure gauge in the interior, so I can see the oil pressure that went slowly to zero, so I switched the engine straight away. That was repaired, engine was running since, and lately the last problem what I had was gauge for the turbo needed a plastic hose going to the interior, and I put it on this crossbar over here, and unfortunately from the temperature it melts, so I had a small boost leak. Other than that, the car's driving absolutely amazing. It's not the quickest on the road, but it is a fun car to drive. Reason why, it's only 215 bhp, but it's quite small. It goes lovely in the corners, so can't complain. Consumption is much better compared to the A6 what I'm driving and all the other cars. So for me, it's a bit of an economical car. And also this year we're planning to go on the Nürburgring, so probably we will go with the S3 as well. Probably gonna take the RS6, we'll see. RS6 is still not done, so that's a question of a near future. But at the moment, we are not far away from a place where we used to go test drive the cars and do some footage for you as well. So we're gonna hit the roads again, and I will tell you some smart things from behind the steering wheel. So let's go. And a very big feature what I've got, we have a new central display which was fitted by our customer. We've done a S4 for him, thank you very much. So Mr. IT guy told me, because I did show him the S3, and he was like, I can actually sort out the central display for you, because mine one was the original red one, it was all falling out. So he did. I gave him the cluster. If you're asking me how much he will fit it, he's not doing it like for general public, he's just having it like a hobby to push his limits a bit. But I do think it looks absolutely amazing because it's a bit more modern, and actually we have some more features what's in there. Also the park, if you put it in neutral or first gear, it will actually display in the current gear which you are driving in. And the coolest thing about it, if you will go here, you have like logbook, you have measurements, count, that's the diagnostic, that's the coolest thing. Tools, yeah, you can see the last data from the driving, and you can actually find out loads of things and information about the car. We can go to scan to show you the diagnostic. We have obviously engine, transmission is not automatic, but ABS, whatever you have installed, it will actually show you. But let's check the engine. And engine fault codes, we have errors over here, we have 0 errors, which is good. So you can also delete fault codes which are not there. All clear, good, thank you very much. So yeah, small little feature. I did only pay him for material, it's basically analogued. So he took the whole cluster out, he opened it up, and that's actually soldered directly onto the pins from the menu, what I've seen. Can't say too much because I wasn't there when he was fitting it, but it's a cool thing. Also, a small feature, when you open the doors, it will actually show you, he upload the picture of the actual car with the registration. It's showing you like the doors open, the bonnet's open, and yeah, it looks sort of fine. So that is the biggest update from last time.
Feathers been calling, my enemies stalling, my people been balling, my team we been wildin'. Can't 100, we use basic tools. Strategies moving where we gotta move. There wasn't no option, no time on the clock, and no setting it back, and we gotta get profit. I'm standing on top of the glory, the road. We was just rebels and do what was told. When they asked me how we leveled up, without us getting stuck, we just muscled up. This game spin, no one gotta tighten up, gotta muscle up, or you will get stuck in this game.
Right guys, so we are in the S3 on the very empty roads. Traction control is off and we are using the full potential of 215 brake horsepower, because this is not the BAM engine, as you know. This is the AIP engine, which is exactly the same engine, it's just a software really, and it doesn't have the preheating on, and it's cheaper on road tax, which is really good for me. So yeah, like I mentioned, this car, it did cost me something around £5,000, and I must say, for £5,000 in the condition what it is, what we've done to it, which was basically like a big service, let's call it, and everything, the car feels really nice and good, can't really complain. And it's a small little fun car, so especially in these sort of roads, when you have twisty roads and it's a bit greasy and stuff, the car still want to turn in. I know loads of people are saying that the Audis are actually not the best in the cornering, because you probably know you have engine in front of the front axle with the gearbox. The weight distribution is not the best, but I think it's still a nice car to have, especially in these sort of twisty roads. Like I mentioned, I would really like to go on the Nürburgring as well with this car and fully enjoy it, and I think it will be fun. Of course, modern cars these days are a bit more complicated, they have a bit of a more power, but also they are much heavier. So if you will put in a 2.5 ton car 700 bhp, it don't feel that good anymore. So that's why I prefer the older cars, even with less bhp, because it's cornering better, the car's handling better, and you can obviously use the full potential of the engine. Like I said, right now we have 215 bhp, which is not a lot, but while it will get to the red line, you will enjoy it. So it's absolutely fun to drive this car, and I really do like it. I'm not planning to sell it because it feels really nice. The whole steering, the car, how it's handling, the gearbox, how you're changing the gears, everything feels really good. So I believe the 93,000 miles are genuine, and I didn't mention it, but I applied for the V5 because there was a no V5 when I bought the car from Copart, and I receive it and it says I'm the first owner. So I think this is a keeper, because it will be one day a future classic, if it's already not, because there's not loads of them, and most of the cars are like tuned, they have funny intercoolers, they take the seats out, they're not really clean. I know, This S3 is still like not in the mint condition, I'm not saying, but it still looks fairly clean, and if you drive in the car and you're looking at it, it looks really fresh, and that's what I like about it. Like, it looks genuine, even with a bit of a rust on the roof, what I still need to sort out. When you're looking at it from like 1 or 2 meters, it looks really fresh, the whole paint job and how the whole car actually looks like. We will see how the car will go, but definitely a small little car to enjoy on the roads. And especially the reason why I was looking for an S3 is that in those years there was no RS3s or anything like that, so these cars were wide bodied compared to the normal A3s. So we have wider quarter panels, you have wider wings and everything, and it looks a bit beefy. I did put the spacers on the rear axle. I think they're like 10 mil, so it's not much, but it's sticking like it's lining up with the rear arches, which looks much better, I believe. So that's the first thing. The body is different, but also, if anything goes wrong with a 1.8 turbo, these engines were absolutely in every single car between 96 to like 2003-4, from Polos, Golf GTIs, Audi TTs, A4s, even A6s. So you can actually buy the engine for pennies. And when we talk about going to the racetracks at the garage, the guys were looking for new S3s and some more expensive cars, and I did told them, like, guys, if you want to go on the racetrack and you want to buy basically a banger, just let's get a 1.8, because worst comes to worst, if the engine will go for a few £100, we can just get another engine and just swap it in the night time basically. So in the UK, I'm not sure how in Europe, but at least in the UK, you can actually buy a decent Audi TT with a BAM engine for like probably £1,200. And worst comes to worst, you gotta put an engine in it and you can just continue driving it until you're gonna go over the roof like 3 times. That's why these older engines, I think, will be very good for like new drivers and stuff, because the parts are cheap to get, it's sort of easy to maintain, and worst comes to worst, you can just swap the whole powertrain. So I think it's a cool little car. And even if you want to go for a old Cupra or Golf GTI or even normal Golf with less BHP, to push more BHP out of it, you just need to do like some really easy and simple swaps on the turbos, or just intake all the exhaust, and the car feels really good. I was driving few Golf GTIs and Polo GTIs, and I must say that the cars was really fun to drive, even if it wasn't a 4-wheel drive, but it was so light that you just literally enjoyed the whole driving. Well, that was a fun drive. Bit of a twisty road. Love it, especially the car, love it. What I don't actually like is the mud on the roads, because it was a clean car before we hit the roads, and right now it looks like a muddy off-roader. But I want to check the engine if we have any problems after a bit of higher revs and stuff, and everything seems to be clean, nothing is leaking. The water pump is running full beams, which is fine, and we're going to try to keep it this way. So far we've done 1,000 miles, which is about 1,600 kilometers. I'm not driving it hard every single time because there's no space to drive it that way, but I'm really hoping there will be opportunity this year to take it for a racetrack in the UK or Europe, we will see. And if we will do something next time, like mechanically wise or body wise, it will be definitely the roof, which is rusty, which is a common problem. That will definitely need sorting out before it will get worse. And I'll probably want to do the rear suspension, so the subframe, the arms and everything. but we have to have a spray boot ready and stuff, and that will take a bit of longer, but I definitely want to film it. So that's everything from the S3, guys. Thank you for watching, a short update, and I'll see you in the next video. So take care, see you.